Thanks everyone for coming. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Mubashir Rehmani. He received his PhD degree from Pierre and Marie Curie University in Paris in 2011. He's currently a lecturer in the Department of Computer Science at Munster Technological University in Ireland, and he has authored or edited 8 books, including a textbook on blockchain, which we'll be hearing about. He was ranked #1 in all engineering disciplines in 2017 by the Pakistan Council for Science and Technology, and he has received several Best Paper awards. So Dr. Rehmani, please take it away.
Okay, thank you so much, Curtis, for inviting me for this talk. It's my pleasure to talk with all of you. So the topic of my talk is basically the future of cryptocurrency, where we can see cryptocurrency as a future, whether it will be considered as a legal tender, or it will be considered as a financial instrument, or will it be considered as a money, or will people use it as an investment tool, or what will be the actual nature of cryptocurrency. So before delving into the details of the future of cryptocurrency, I want to first give you a brief introduction about cryptocurrency, what is the exact technical nature of cryptocurrencies, how they are composed of, and what is the general perception of people about cryptocurrency, and how researchers and scientists think about cryptocurrency, and as well as the economist. So let me first introduce you about the whole paradigm of cryptocurrencies. So as you can see over here, this is basically a chart which I have taken from Bank of England from a report by the Financial Policy Committee. And actually what they did is that they mentioned, let me show you with a highlighted. So this is basically the whole, number of coins. There are more than 17,000 cryptocurrencies and crypto assets. And this blue, light blue color, what you can say, shows Bitcoin, and you can see its contribution to the whole assets. So if we consider total global assets around the globe, the total financial assets are $487 trillion US, whatever assets we consider. And among them, the crypto assets market is even less than 1%, which is 0.4% of the global financial system. So it's basically $2.9 trillion US in 2021. And when you look at the capital, it was a decrease from $2.9 trillion US to 1.2 trillion US in May 2023. So it's a huge reduction in the capital, and that was because of the high volatility and speculative nature of these crypto assets and the ecosystem. So here you can see these are different coins or cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ether, and there are remaining 17,000 other coins are also there. And among them, stable coins are also there. They are making their place. But the point that I'm trying to make over here is that crypto assets is a growing market, and it has a huge capital, and that capital is day by day increasing, but still it is less than 1% of the total global financial assets around the globe. Now, when we look at more specifically, you may have heard about famous cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, Litecoin, and there are more than 17,000 cryptocurrencies that exist today. And with each new day, there are new cryptocurrencies that are coming in the market. And even you can yourself, if you know the programming and know the know-how of economics, financial systems, and currencies, you can also design your own cryptocurrency. The code of the fundamental code of Bitcoin is available on GitHub. You can download it. You can make necessary modification as per your requirement, and you can launch your own cryptocurrency. You can also launch your own tokens, and those tokens can be launched through Ethereum blockchain, and those will be basically the coins that you can launch on Ethereum platform. So as you can see over here, these cryptocurrencies have a huge market capital, and that market capital is showing you the interest that people take in these cryptocurrencies. And here you can see basically that the market capital is basically the two cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. They have the huge market capital, and their prices are enormous. These are the prices that I took yesterday. So yesterday Bitcoin was around 39,000 US dollar, one Bitcoin, and Ethereum was around more than 2,000 US dollar. So it's a huge amount. And when we look at 1 year statistics of the Bitcoin cryptocurrency, so this is the data that I took from Coin Market Capital, and on the x-axis you can see different months from July 2021 to July 2022, and on the y-axis it's the price of the Bitcoin in US dollar. So as you can see over here, the price of one Bitcoin in July 2021, it was 30,000 US dollar. And when you move to October 2021, the price increased to 60,000 US dollar. So in just few months, a person can get a profit of 30,000 US dollar. This is not possible in any other investment. For example, if someone invest in real estate or buying some shares of a company, such huge amount of profit or return on investment cannot be seen in any other assets. On the other hand, you can see if someone buy one Bitcoin on October 2021, they may have bought it for 60,000 US dollar. And let's say if they try to sell it in July 2022, the price was even less than 20,000 US dollar. So that person may lose 30,000 or even 40,000 US dollar in just few months. So that's the the volatility, the speculative nature of Bitcoin. And this is where the speculators came into the scenario, came into the picture, and they try to exploit this phenomena to get benefit. And it's not just about the fluctuation in months or years. Even if you look at the daily prices of Bitcoin, it's very highly volatile. So this graph shows 7 days price of Bitcoin, and you can see the price is starting from 19,000 US dollar, and it goes to 22,000 US dollar, and then it came back again. So these price fluctuations help speculators to invest and try to get some money. And those who are not expert or who don't understand well these fluctuations or volatility, they may lose their whole money that they save. So that's a highly volatile nature of Bitcoin. Now one may ask a question from where they can buy cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and how they can own them. So basically there are cryptocurrency marketplaces such as Coinbase or Binance, where people can buy cryptocurrencies by giving their US dollar or Canadian dollar or euro, and they can buy different cryptocurrencies. Bitfinex is another famous cryptocurrency exchange. There are wallets. Wallets are basically mobile applications or softwares that you can install on your mobile phone or laptop, through which you access the ledger, the Bitcoin ledger or any ledger of the cryptocurrency. So you can think about these wallets like a mobile phone application of a bank, in which you put your username and password, and then you can access your balance and detail, and then you can transfer the amount or money to any other person through the bank. In the case of Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, you also need to install wallet, and these wallets have two basic components. The first component is public key, which can be considered as equivalent to the username, and there is a private key which can be considered as the password. So if someone lose their password, definitely they may lose their whole amount of the balance. The same case applies over here. In the context of cryptocurrencies, if someone lose their private key, we consider that they lose their whole balance of the cryptocurrencies, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum. Now let me share you some features of cryptocurrencies. So cryptocurrencies are basically, as the name implies, cryptocurrencies. The name crypto comes from cryptography, and cryptography is basically cryptography means that you perform secure communication in the presence of adversaries. There are some famous cryptographic algorithms like encryption. So encryption means you try to encode information. You have digital signatures. Digital signatures help you to verify the authenticity of the digital message and documents. And you have hashing. So hashing is basically mapping of data of arbitrary size to fixed size values. So these are some famous cryptographic algorithms, and all of them are used heavily in cryptocurrencies. That's why we call it a cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency is basically a computer-based currency. It is a digital currency, and it is managed through computer network. And that computer network, the technology behind that computer network is basically blockchain. I will explain in the next few slides what is blockchain and how we manage different cryptocurrencies through blockchain. One of the features of cryptocurrency is that they are not controlled by the central authority, banks or government. This is what they claim. As I mentioned, these cryptocurrencies can be purchased through cryptocurrency exchanges. Now, one can also earn these cryptocurrencies through the mining process. Mining is a process in which new cryptocurrencies are minted or created. And basically in the mining process, you get mining reward as well as the transaction fees. So the more you have the number of transactions, the more reward you will get. Bitcoin cryptocurrency is basically a transaction ledger. It means in the ledger, there are different types of ledger. So it has transactions in the ledger. Bitcoin does not have any intrinsic value like gold or silver. They have some intrinsic value, but Bitcoin does not have any intrinsic value. Similarly, Bitcoin in itself does not have any benefit. For example, here the benefit means that how we can use it directly. So when we talk about Adobe software or WhatsApp or any other software, they have the benefit in itself. We use those softwares for some purpose. However, Bitcoin in itself does not have any inherent benefit. Bitcoin does not physically exist. There is no such digital Bitcoin exists. I will explain you what does it mean. So it's scientists and researchers are very clear that Bitcoin does not even digitally exist. That's a detailed concept that we need to understand. And there are no coins as such in the Bitcoin. There are only transactions, and these transactions show us the ownership rights. When we access our wallet by public and private key, there are no digital Bitcoins exist there. In fact, with our wallet, we try to access the ledger, the Bitcoin ledger, and in that ledger, our wallet will help us to traverse the whole Bitcoin ledger and say, okay, against this particular address, how many UTXOs, unspent transaction outputs, are there. So that's how one can determine how many coins or how many Bitcoins a particular address belong. When we transfer Bitcoin from one address to another, it is just the state of the ledger that is being updated. And Bitcoin is not even a software. Bitcoin is a protocol and is a set of rules that says how the Bitcoin cryptocurrency will function. So these were some of the features of Bitcoin that I wanted to share. Now, in this screen, you can see this is block 0 of Bitcoin. You can yourself go and check this block 0. So block 0 is that block when the Bitcoin cryptocurrency was started. As mentioned over here, let me highlight. So here you can see this is block 0. And here you can see it was mined on January 3rd, 2009. And the miner of this block earned 50 Bitcoin at that time, and the difficulty of that block, mining that block, was 1. So Satoshi Nakamoto basically created this block 0, and he, as a reward, he got 50 Bitcoins, and he just wrote 50 Bitcoins in the ledger against his address, or in simple words, against his name. So in this manner, the Bitcoin blockchain came into existence. So there was no Bitcoin. Satoshi Nakamoto, who invented Bitcoin cryptocurrency, he launched the Bitcoin cryptocurrency ledger, and he first performed a mining process. And since he was alone, or there were not too many people, so he was successful in the mining process. And as a reward, he got 50 Bitcoin. And in this manner, first 50 Bitcoins were inserted into the ledger, or written down in the ledger. And at that time, there was not a single value of those Bitcoins. These were just numbers that he wrote in front of his name or address in the Bitcoin ledger. So you can see this is how Bitcoin cryptocurrency came into existence. You can think about a person who is just thinking about any new cryptocurrency, and then just wrote down the amount of cryptocurrency he has in the notebook, or in the register, or even in the computer. And that's how you can consider it equivalent to the starting of the Bitcoin. And then afterwards, there was a huge campaign to increase the price, or you can say to artificially create the price of Bitcoin. Nobody was accepting it as a currency. So the first effort was to make people think, to conceive Bitcoin has some value, and there were some steps that were taken. And the first thing that we normally say about is 2 pizzas from the Bitcoin. That's why we have the pizza day annually. So here you can see this was the transaction address on which Coinbase newly generated coins were transferred. So this is how you can check where the transaction was held, and how the Bitcoins were created and assigned to a particular address. And these are on the right hand side, you can see there are some, let me show you. So these are, as you can see over here on the pointer, there are some red color icons or green color icons. So they are basically UTXOs and STXOs. UTXOs means unspent transaction output, the bitcoins that are not spent, and STXOs are spent transaction output. They are shown in red color. It means those bitcoins are already spent or transferred. Now, this was some introduction about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin specifically. Now, the point that I made in the few slides is that Bitcoin does not even digitally exist. However, you may argue that, well, if it doesn't exist, then how we can see Bitcoins from our wallet, how we can transfer those Bitcoin from one address to another, means how we can, think about or say that Bitcoins even does not digitally exist. Basically, they are the imaginary numbers that were fed into computer, and it has nothing to do with the real economy. In real economy, we have some assets, and those assets are basically represented digitally. But here in this case, in the case of majority of the cryptocurrencies, and in particular Bitcoin, there was no representation of any physical asset, and it was not any government who issued this currency. It was just a private entity that started the ledger, and they started accumulating Bitcoin into their addresses, and then they start people to think that Bitcoin has some value, and then the whole lobby came into existence that tried to push Bitcoin in the main financial and economic system. And then this is how they created and developed this whole hype of the imaginary economic system. So now let's look at some scientific references. So here I'm mentioning a few of the scientific articles, excerpts, and exact phrases, and you can read those articles in detail. I have mentioned their whole references. So as you can see over here in reference number 1, the authors are saying that coins as such do not exist. There are only transactions which elaborately assign ownership rights. And this is how we can conceive about a coin. In reference number 2, they are claiming that there is no such thing as a Bitcoin or a wallet, just an agreement among the network about ownership of a coin. And one can access or prove the ownership of the funds by using the private key. And similarly, in reference number 3, they are clearly saying that Bitcoin does not store each coin. So there is not a digital coin, or who owns that digital coin. Instead, it uses a distributed ledger book system called blockchain, based on the logic that if you know every transaction an address has made, then you know if it has money to spend or not. The concept of UTXOs and STXOs. And even in the white paper that Satoshi Nakamoto wrote, and which is accessible on Bitcoin website, as you can see, they defined Bitcoin as an electronic coin and a chain of digital signatures. So it's a chain of digital signatures that represent like an electronic coin. Similarly, these are few other references that clearly says that there is no physical representation such as coins or banknotes in the case of Bitcoin. And it is basically a chain of transactions in the Bitcoin ledger through which we can show the ownership of the Bitcoins that any particular person have. So it's basically the state of the ledger. So by looking at these some of these references, and when you perform a very detailed literature review, and when you yourself go into the code of Bitcoin and understand it, you will come to the conclusion that Bitcoin does not physically exist. Bitcoin does not have any physical representation such as coins or banknotes. Bitcoin does not even digitally exist. That's an important point that I wanted to make over here. There are no digital coins present in the Bitcoin. Bitcoin does not store each coin and who stores it. Bitcoin is a chain of digital signatures. Bitcoins are only transactions in the ledger, which shows the ownership rights. And individuals should have a wallet on a computer. The wallet contains nothing more than a regular updated file listing all the Bitcoin's transactions ever made. It is only the transactions that transfers among the users, not the Bitcoin. So this is an important point. When you look at the technical detail of how Bitcoin ledger works, how Bitcoin blockchain protocol works, so basically they transfer the transactions on different computers in a distributed manner. And once you have the whole copy of the complete ledger, you can then traverse the whole ledger right from the beginning to the end, and then estimate that which person have which much coins left, and then you can conclude that this particular address has this much ownership of the Bitcoin. So it is the state of the ledger that is being updated, through which the Bitcoin balance can be determined. And Bitcoin balance is determined on the logic that if you know every transaction an address has made, then you know if it has money to spend. And Bitcoins can be transmitted to other user wallet using the combination of public-private key. And this is how you transfer the Bitcoin. So that's the detailed explanation of the technical nature of Bitcoin, that Bitcoin even does not digitally exist. So that was about the technical nature of Bitcoin. Now let's move our discussion to some other aspects of Bitcoin. So another important aspect of Bitcoin is energy consumption. So the energy consumption of Bitcoin comes from the mining process. And basically in Bitcoin cryptocurrency, we have a proof of work consensus algorithm that is causing a huge amount of energy consumption. So basically, there are four main factors that contribute to the energy consumption of cryptocurrency mining. That's the hardware computing power, network hash rate, the difficulty, and the thermal regulation of the hardware. So when we look at the devices that we generally people now use, so here you can see this is an Antminer Bitcoin miner S19 Pro. Its price is more than 5,000 US dollar. And that is a specific device that is used for mining. And when you combine these Antminers and fix them in a container with a hydrocooling facility, so you can see they are capable of over 1 megawatt operating capacity, and the price is more than 111,000 US dollar for this particular container, which has around 210 these Antminer miner devices. So these are basically devices that perform calculations for the mining process, and this is why we have huge amount of energy consumption. So when we look at the details of the energy consumption, so basically this is the graph that I took from the Cambridge Center for Alternative Finance, CCAF, in United Kingdom. And it's a research center at the University of Cambridge Judge Business School. And they are trying to measure how much Bitcoin is consuming electricity. So here you can see they are comparing annual electricity consumption of different countries like Pakistan, Netherlands, Argentina, and United Arab Emirates. And as you can see, Bitcoin overall globally is consuming more or less the same amount of energy that these whole countries are consuming as a whole. So it's a huge amount of electricity consumption by the Bitcoin mining process. In Ethereum, that process has been addressed, and they move from proof of work consensus algorithm to proof of stake, and they have reduced their electricity consumption. But still, that is not the case with Bitcoin, and researchers are working to improve the the energy consumption. Now another question is basically, if you look at the literature and if you look at the social media, you may find a lot of people claiming that Bitcoin is a decentralized currency and it is against the monopoly of IMF or World Bank, or it is against US dollar, and it was designed to, to deal with the monopolies of these, financial bodies like IMF or World Bank. But that is not the case. Here we are talking scientifically, and we want to see whether Bitcoin is really a decentralized currency, or can any government, institute, or any person manipulate the price of cryptocurrency or have control over it, and who held most of the wealth and power in Bitcoin. So the first thing is, basically you can yourself go and check the mining pools statistics, which I took myself. You can also check and see. So these are 6 or 7 mining pools. They are basically dominating the whole mining process. And as you can see, if they somehow combine, they have more than 51% of the power, mining power or hash rate power. So that's these are the people who basically have a dominancy or control of manipulating things in the Bitcoin cryptocurrency economy. Similarly, there was a recent research carried out by a few researchers, and I have mentioned the link over here. So basically, this pie chart shows you the amount of Bitcoins that people own. So here, let me show you. Here, you can see I marked in green color. This is basically a square, a small square. It shows 1,000 Bitcoin. So in the pie chart, as you can see, the agent number 1, Satoshi Nakamoto, who created Bitcoin, he has a huge amount of Bitcoins in his ownership. And there are some other agents as well. So basically, the ledger, complete ledger is there. Bitcoin ledger is there. You can yourself go and traverse the whole ledger and the addresses, and you will be surprised to see that in the first 2 years when Bitcoin was created, there were 64 key players who mine most of the Bitcoin. So it is against the Bitcoin's egalitarian promise that in Bitcoin there will not be any classical distribution of income. And as you can see, it's the distribution of wealth in Bitcoin is even worse than the actual economies or actual economies of the world. Even it does not follow the Pareto distribution, which says that 20% of the population controls 80% of the wealth of a country. It is even worse than that. So to summarize, this paper is very interesting to read. I will suggest every one of you to have a look at this paper, and you will see that a small fraction of miners held most of the wealth and power, and there were 64 key players who were the main key players of the Bitcoin. Similarly, there's a huge influence of different cryptocurrency exchanges. Like here you can see this is Celsius network who froze withdrawals and transfers of 1.7 million people. 1.7, sorry, it's 1.7 million people. And then the Bitcoin and Ethereum prices were dropped. So this is how they try to manipulate the price of the Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Now this is an interesting paper, the reference of which I have given below. In this paper, they scientifically argue and provide evidences that Bitcoin is not a decentralized currency. There are different factors which makes the decentralization aspect of Bitcoin very weak, and those are mining pools, Bitcoin web wallets, SVP, protocol maintenance, coin tinting, and Bitcoin exchanges. So this paper was published in one of the very good journal of IEEE, which is IEEE Security and Privacy, and you will be really amazed to see that they have scientifically proven that Bitcoin is not a decentralized currency, and as few people claim, there are some entities that are controlling the Bitcoin economy. Similarly, you have some other examples as well, where different cryptocurrencies like Terra USD Luna collapsed, or there are some other examples as well. So those are worth understanding the nature of different cryptocurrencies. Now, in terms of scientific exploration and visualization of Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is a tool, MiningWiz, which you can explore. It helps you to understand how many mining pools are there, what are their payout schemes, how many transactions they are making, and who is dominating the mining process in real time. Similarly, if you are interested in exploring Ethereum network status, this particular ethstats.net is another good source where you can explore about Ethereum. Now, the question is, one may arise a question that when Satoshi Nakamoto started Bitcoin cryptocurrency and wrote the first 50 Bitcoins against his name, against his address, so there was no value. So how the value was created artificially in Bitcoins? Right now, one Bitcoin is more than 39,000 US dollar. So how this value came into Bitcoin? So basically, when you look at from the very start, basically there was not a single value, and after 2 years, the Bitcoin was equal to $1 US, and there were a lot of steps that were taken by the supporters of the Bitcoin at that time, and one of the scientific facts is that they launch Satoshi Dice distributed application DApp, and as you can see here in this graph on the right hand side, the number of transactions from the start were very few, and as the time goes on, they basically right now it is Bitcoin Cash, but previously it was on this side it was Bitcoin BTC. So what you can see here is that there are on the top, there are let me highlight you. Yes, so here you can see these are basically the multipliers, and these multipliers basically says if you when you click on a particular multiplier, let's say 3x multiplier, it shows you an address. So you need to send your Bitcoin to this to the address mentioned over there, and they will flip a coin. And if you win the gamble, they will provide you 3 times the Bitcoin that you sent to their address. Or if you lost, you may lose your Bitcoin. Similarly, you can see there are various multipliers, 100x, 50x, 1000x. So they use this Satoshi Dice DApp to attract people around the globe who first bought Bitcoin, and then they start making transactions on these different addresses of the multipliers. And in this manner, you can see in the graph on the right hand side, which let me show you here on the left right hand side, and when you look at the addresses provided, and when you track the ledger, you will find that there are more than 62,000 daily transactions that people were making in order to gain some benefits by using this app. So this is how they try to what you can say make Bitcoin popular among the general masses, and this particular tool was used as a gambling tool. So this is how people started knowing about Bitcoin, and they investing in Bitcoin. And this was one of the examples that was quoted by few researchers, and they proved through the addresses that how Bitcoin was made famous. So basically, when you talk about Bitcoin, it is based on blockchain technology. So whether it's a Bitcoin or Ethereum, a majority of the cryptocurrencies are based on blockchain technology. And blockchain is basically a distributed ledger system. So you can think about blockchain as a database, but this database is basically a distributed database. In normal databases like Oracle or SQL or other databases, we have a central server that controls all the transactions that we made. But in blockchain, that is not the case. It's the distributed ledger that is structured into a linked list of blocks, and we use an ordered set of transactions. So ledger is basically a principal book or computer file where we record information. And there can be several types of ledgers like sale ledgers, purchase ledgers, or general ledgers. So when you look at the history, basically before the computers came into existence, the records were saved manually on registers, on copies. And then when the computer came, this computer technology came, people start moving to save their records on computers, and for that they may be using Open Office or Microsoft Excel or Word. And then with the passage of time, when there is a huge amount of data, then people have started using dedicated database systems. And those database systems are specifically designed to deal with millions of records, and they are designed in such a way that one can access. So in a database system, typically they are centralized, although there are distributed databases available. But generally in database system, we have a central server or central entity that controls all the components in the database system. Blockchain, on the other hand, says that you will have a system in which there is no central server, as you can see in the below diagram, and records will be saved on each and every computer, and this is how a blockchain system works. So I just quickly move to the ending of my talk, where let me talk about the future of cryptocurrency. What will be the future of the cryptocurrency, and then we can further discuss and start the question answer session. So when we talk about the future of cryptocurrency, basically let me quote an executive member of ECB, Fabio Panetta, who mentioned in his speech that this is an illusion that cryptocurrency serves as a money. So he considered cryptocurrency as a bubble that can burst, but according to his opinion, bursting of the bubble does not necessarily result in the end of crypto assets. Crypto market will be there, crypto assets will be there, and people like to gamble, and investing in crypto offers them to do so. And it's a very interesting speech, talks about the future of cryptocurrency, and he provided a lot of scientific evidences. So I suggest all of you to look at his speech. It's available on ECB website, for which I mentioned the link. Similarly, when you look at the European Union financial regulations warnings of the for which they issued to 27 European countries, these European supervisory authorities like EBA, ESMA, and EIOPA, they warn consumers that many crypto assets are highly risky and speculative. These are not suited for most retail customers as an investment or as a means of payment or exchange. So they have issued a lot of warnings because a lot of people in Europe, they try to invest in crypto assets, and many people have lose their whole amount of money. So, and then there are it is a consensus, almost a consensus in the global community, scientific community of economists and researchers, that cryptocurrency does not serve as a role of a currency. And in European Parliament, there was a European Parliament's Committee on Economic and Monetary Affairs who submitted a report to the European Parliament, and they clearly says that digital currencies are not used as a medium of exchange and cannot be used as a medium of exchange. and cryptocurrencies cannot be used as a unit of account. And digital currencies do not really function as money. So, you know, for money, there are three essential functions, like it should serve as a medium of exchange, store, a unit of account, and a store of value. These features are not existing in cryptocurrencies. Now, there are huge number of efforts to make cryptocurrency alive in the globe, and for this they are rebranding cryptocurrency, and they are trying to attract new investors for cryptocurrency, and they are using cryptocurrencies in different technologies like NFTs, non-fungible tokens, decentralized finance. There's a huge application of metaverse where people can use and invest cryptocurrencies over the metaverse, Web3. So these are basically ways to make new investors for the cryptocurrencies. Although there is a different use case and application of these applications, like metaverse. Metaverse has a different purpose, and it is used to facilitate, the experience of the user. But the cryptocurrency, cryptocurrency lobby, they are tying cryptocurrencies to the metaverse as well. Now, as far as the future is concerned, so cryptocurrencies will exist there, but not as a money or medium of exchange. They will be serve as a medium of investment, and people start to people will keep investing in it. And at the government level, government is making alternative actions, and they are coming up with alternative to cryptocurrencies. For example, in UK we have UK central bank digital currency, which is known as CBDC, and it's the government which is launching this project, which has launched this project, and they are providing a central bank digital currency, which will be under control by the UK government. Similarly, in Europe, they have this initiative of digital euro, which will be would like be a euro banknote, but it will be in a digital form. It will not replace cash, but it will complement the cash as well. And as far as regulations are concerned, there in Europe there is MiCA regulation, which try to regulate the crypto economy. Basically, previously anyone can come and launch their own cryptocurrency. Now they try to regulate and try to stop financing terrorist organizations or money laundering efforts using cryptocurrency. So MiCA regulation is all about controlling the crypto ecosystem. And by no means MiCA regulation view cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum as a legal tender, means of payment or exchange. And here I conclude my talk. And these are one of my books on blockchain. And these are a few of the articles that I wrote in newspaper, which you can read for if you are interested in more details. So now I open the floor for any question. If you have any questions or want to discuss, you are most welcome.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Rehmani. Let's thank the speaker. Okay, do we have any questions? Yes, just raise your hand. We'll bring the mic to you.
There was one thing that you mentioned earlier that I didn't quite get to write down. How Bitcoin can be transmitted to other wallets using a combination of public and private keys. Something. What was that?
Yes. So basically, here, let me show you through an example. I have a backup slide. So if you can see, no, just give me a time. I will come back to that particular slide. So this is basically a figure showing you a complete copy of the ledger is there. So as you can see, there are 4 computers, and each computer has a complete copy of the ledger. And each computer will access the wallet, the ledger, using public-private key. Now, when a person make a transaction, let's see over here, that transaction will be propagated to the whole network, and it's the state of the ledger that is being updated. Okay, and that shows that the coins are transferred from one address to another address. So it's not actually the coins that are being transferred, it's the state of the ledger that is being updated. And when you use your public-private key in the wallet, you are accessing the updated state of the ledger to see how many bitcoins a particular address has. And the same thing is used to transfer bitcoins from one address to another. Basically, you make another entry in the ledger that now this much amount of coin has been moved to another person. And let me show you another diagram to give you a more clear. Here you can see. So basically here person A and B has some bitcoins. So they make a transaction. So when they make a transaction, it's not that bitcoin that they are transferring. In fact, they are updating and updating the state of the ledger. They are making new entries in the ledger, in the record of the database. And this is how at the end the state is updated, and we say that, okay, for a general people, we say that, okay, the bitcoins have been transferred from one person to another. But in fact, it's the state of the ledger, it's the transactions that are transferred, transactions that are updated in the ledger. I hope I have cleared.
I was hoping you could go back to a specific slide where I didn't quite get it right on one word, but thank you for all that extra information. So the state of the ledger is being updated every time a transaction is made?
Yes, yes.
Okay, are there any further questions? Yes, we have one.
Hello, Dr. Rehmani. So as you said that cryptocurrency is like not a real currency, but I can still invest in it and I can, use that to buy some stuff in real life. So how does that, I mean, that contradicts what you said. So
basically, for a currency to become a currency, it should be very well established around the globe. So basically, when you look at the total number of transactions, okay, let's say if you take an example of US dollar. So when you ask, the central bank and see their statistics, you will see that, okay, 80% of the time, 90% of the time, the transactions that were made in US dollar, they were used for buying some services or buying some products. But in the case of Bitcoin, 95% of the transactions were made for investment purpose. People only use 4% or 5% to buy any product or service around the globe of the total volume of the transactions. So how one can say that, okay, they are serving the feature of the money. And when you look at the research carried out by the economists and experts, they do not they do not consider it as a currency, as a valid currency, because it does not fulfill the three basic functions of a money, of a currency, that is basically medium of exchange and store of value and unit of account.
yeah, okay, thank you.
All right, we have one at the back.
Hello, doctor. My question is, you said that every time the currency, the cryptocurrency is transferred from one person to the other, the ledger is updated, right? So does that mean the ledger has all the logs of transactions? Because
Yes.
okay, so is cryptocurrency supposed to not have all the transactions?
No, basically it is the feature of the blockchain that you should have all the record of all the transactions. So if you just download the ledger of Bitcoin, it is more than 300 gigabyte. You will have all the transaction right from the beginning of the first transaction to right now, all the transactions. So you can have all the records of the transaction, and that's the beauty of blockchain, that you can have this whole transparency in the Bitcoin ecosystem.
Okay, we got one more question.
Hi, just have a question. So essentially, everyone on the blockchain will monitor the transaction. So what will happen if like one become offline in a sense? Is there like a process when it will be updated, like the ledger?
Yes, basically there are some active nodes in the ledger. So there are the huge system of the over the internet. 51% of the nodes, they are there, and each one have their whole copy of the ledger. So if let's say you install and become a node of the Bitcoin blockchain, and you get offline, you disconnect your internet, the other networks, other network nodes, other computers, they are there, they are alive, and they have the complete copy of the ledger. Until and unless 51% of the network came down, then and only then you can say that, okay, the network is down and there is no update. But if all these more than 51% of the nodes are there, the ledger is working, and it is still working.
Hi, Dr. Rehmani. So my question, as far as I understood your presentation, you mean that you are not in favor of Bitcoin, right?
Basically, my perception is basically when I read the economist views and reports by the financial and economic committees by the government, they do not consider cryptocurrency as a currency. So I like their point of view.
Okay, so my question here is, like, I have written articles on this, like they have Bitcoin has problems, like the energy problem is there, then there are other problems, it doesn't exist in reality. But in your opinion, why people are crazy about this, but why they are spending so much money? You mentioned in the beginning like $500 trillion. So there might be some reasons why people are spending so much money. And
Yes.
I have, just second part of my question is related to myself or somebody who has already spent money on Bitcoin. So what do you think? What is the future? Should we sell our coins or should we wait?
Okay, so let me show you the reason why people are investing in Bitcoin. So it's basically, can you see the slides that I'm just moving?
Yeah, we see them.
Yeah, so here you can see it's the highly volatile nature of Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies that people try to invest in it. And as you can see, the return on investment, ROI, for any other asset is less, far less than investing in a cryptocurrency. That is one of the basic reason. If you look at the campaigns by the social media influencers, or when you look at the cryptocurrency marketplaces or channels, you will realize that, or when you discuss with people who invest, majority of them, their purpose is to somehow invest to earn more money in cryptocurrency. That is the one reason. The second reason is basically when they launch cryptocurrency, they try to disseminate this is a decentralized currency which is against dollar, which is against the monopoly of IMF or World Bank or other big institutes. So people who are very much frustrated with the existing financial systems, they try to think Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies as a safe haven or as an alternate financial system. So these are two of the fundamental reasons. That's why people are very much interested in investing and supporting Bitcoin and Bitcoin in particular, and cryptocurrency in general. Going back to your second question, basically I'm not an expert in investing in cryptocurrency, but from the religious point of view, when I talk with religious persons, scholars, they do not believe on the unrealistic economy. They believe on the realistic economy, and that's what they recommend, to avoid investing in unrealistic economy. That is their suggestion. So I will do the same suggestion to you.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Rehmani. Let's thank the speaker one last time.